talent doesn't build careers, a brand does. So no, you don't need to get 1 million fans. No, you don't need a bunch of paid ads. All you need is a clear brand. So let's break down exactly how you create a music creator brand that actually attracts fans and pays you consistently. So no, it's not just about creating some really cool logo or having some really complex color scheme, or even how many views. Branding is about how people are gonna remember you, your messaging, and why they choose you over all the competition. So here's why most music creator brands fail. Most creators are invisible because they're generic. They post the same kind of music without taking any risks. They have the same messaging, the same opinions and perspectives, or even worse, they try to target everybody and end up targeting no one. So here's the core brand framework that I'm using now. So a real music producer brand really has 3 pillars. Number 1 is a clear identity. Number 2 is a repeatable message. And number 3 is a monetizable role. If you miss any one of these or don't do them to the full extent, the whole thing is gonna collapse. So number 1 is your clear identity. That's gonna answer what separates you from everybody else. Why should someone get your product or service or listen to your music instead of all the other thousands of other people online or even in person? So this isn't just about some specific genre. This is about who you are as a person or brand, your core values, and how exactly clear that is. Now this is pretty hard because deciding on something clearly can take some time. Maybe you need to experiment to know whether you're a producer, an artist, or all these things. But at the end of the day, you probably have a clear idea of exactly who you are. Now the problem is, a lot of people, they take this and they try to fit into a particular box. So let's say there's somebody that wants to be an artist and a producer. So they want to sit down and make their own music and release their own songs, do their own marketing. But the music industry tells you, no, you have to be an artist or a producer. And now all of a sudden your identity is just generic. Before you were doing things as an artist and producer, but now you're just saying you're a producer. So basically don't just put yourself in a box, think about your own identity and stick with it. Next is a repeatable message. So if you notice, a lot of brands have to repeat the same message for it to really come across strongly. So think about 3 core topics or values that you want to talk about over and over. So if you think about Nike, their thing is athletes, physical training, and motivation. That's 3 things. And they talk about that over and over in different ways. So after talking about it so many times, now people associate those things with their brands. And the problem that you can have here is you don't make it repeatable. So let's say I have a core value. If I only say it once, it's not gonna really be a brand. It's just gonna be another thing I said. So one core part of my brand that I say a lot is that you can make a full-time income being a music creator. You don't have to fit yourself into a box of just music producer or music artist. Another thing I talk about a lot is making income from music, just like this video. And that's a clear identity that separates me from other people. Because other people, they actually hate that I talk about income. They think musicians shouldn't even think about income. And so don't be afraid to be polarizing and keep repeating the same message. And the thing is, the clearer your identity and the more polarizing, the more people are gonna push back on that message. So I've met a lot of even Grammy Award winning producers, and they hate the fact that I make these videos because they're like, well, what's the point of all your years of working and figuring this stuff out for yourself? And now you're just making a free YouTube video for everybody. Well, that's part of my identity. That's what I do. I don't think a music creator should have to go to college, spend $100,000 and be in debt with student loans to get this information. And finally, we want a monetizable role. So what do I mean by that? It's not just about, actually channel that identity and message into a specific role that you can make income from. So for example, are you a producer for hire? Are you a producer that does a bunch of collaborations to get royalty splits? Are you an educator? Are you just a creator that posts your own music? This goes back to your clear identity, but you actually have to make sure it's monetizable. So if I try to make my role, I just help out the producer community. That's not specific enough to be monetizable. And it's also not even a clear identity. So if people don't even know how you're gonna be able to help them, they're not gonna be able to pay you anything, no matter how much they like you. So now you have the brand, but how is this brand and all this stuff that I'm saying actually gonna turn into you making more income or making better music? Well, first, obviously, you have attention. So through all your marketing efforts, you're gonna get some traffic, you're gonna get some people looking at your music. If you go out and network, you're gonna meet a bunch of different people. But now we need to turn these strangers into people that actually, now what we need to do is give these strangers some kind of value. So that could be showing that you can actually help them with what they're trying to do. So it's good to have this brand here. That brand is gonna take this attention, it's gonna give it actual value. So for example, I offer free content, free sample packs, free templates, and that's helped a lot of people. And so now they actually know, hey, I actually backed up what I was saying in my brand. I'm actually showing music creators and giving them the tools to make the income that they want. And finally, you have the final offer. So the biggest thing with the offer is 3 things. The value has to be clear. So make this match whatever you offer. The result has to be actually obvious. So what exactly is your product or service going to solve for me? And finally, the offer matches the brand. So if I was sitting here saying, oh no, you have to go to college to make any income from music, but then I offered my online course, Modern Music Creator Academy, that would be a brand disconnect, right? Versus my identity now is saying you can make a full-time income just from learning online without any employees, without any connections. So now my offer, Modern Music Creator Academy, actually matches. The strongest brands don't sell harder. They don't just pour a bunch of stuff into paid ads from the very beginning. They sell cleaner because they have a clear identity, a strong, repeatable message, and they know their role and how they're actually going to help people. So like I said at the beginning, you don't need millions of fans. All you need is, let's say, 100 true fans, one clear offer, and consistent messaging. And that alone can outperform all the work you would have done without a brand for the next 10 years of your life. And that alone can outperform everything you've been trying to do without a brand. So what are the actual action steps? We've been talking about all this stuff, but I'm a believer in thinking about what actual actions can we take. So write one sentence of who you help and how. So it could be, I help specific target audience, make it super specific, not just I help the producer community, make it I help, beat makers that are making beats from their house sell more beat leases. So target audience or target client, and what's the actual result that you're going to get them. Next, you want to define your core values. So what's the exact values that you're going to have that are going to become the topics that you always talk about. And then finally, decide one way that you're actually going to monetize that links to that brand. So now you have a full cohesive brand that's going to get more attention. It's going to get more of that attention to actually trust you because they clearly see the value. What you say matches your offer. And finally, your offer matches your brand. So I can show you why most producers still stay stuck even after doing things like this, and what actually turns music production and what actually turns a random person from having no production skills, no business skills, into actually making a full-time income. So if you want that step-by-step business system and you also want to learn music production, make sure you go get the Modern Music Creator Academy. But if you want more details for free as well, for a free value, you can watch this video next. So I'll see you there.